I did mention that I wanted to put some signs on the outside. Now I've got 3 signs and I've just put one of them up. It's quite a small one.
Today on CarTraction we've got a bit of a different video planned. Now viewers who have been with CarTraction for a while will recognise this lovely shed, but some new viewers may not have seen it before. So basically it's a shed where I keep all of my lovely old automobilia and bits of cars inside. But recently, as you can see, it started to get a little bit scruffy, and a couple of weeks ago I cleared out most of the inside and started de-webbing and things like that. But I want to also renovate the outside of this, and as you can see, the paint here, this shed's been here for probably about 6 or 7 years, and this is the original paint that came with the shed. It's starting to get a bit thin and it's wearing through and it's getting a bit peely, which means the shed isn't very well protected, and I want to make sure the shed is protected, which is why in this video we're going to be repainting it. Now what colour are we going to paint it? Well, after a lot of thought we've decided to go black, and the idea of this is that after a year or so it'll wear into like a charcoal grey type thing, which will make it look like it's been like that for a long time. And the motive behind this was obviously to protect the shed and the stuff inside, but the second motive is to perhaps maybe make it look like a bit of an old garage. I'm thinking maybe we could have like a bit of a painted sign saying Harley's Garage at the top instead of this rusty old bike. I don't quite know yet, not everything's set out already, but yeah, I'd like this to look like a little sort of auto parts depot or something a sort of bit more appropriate like that. So we're painting it black and maybe have a bit of like, not sign writing because it'll be us doing it, but have a bit of painted, maybe a couple of different signs on the outside. But today, because this will probably be a few weeks, this project in this video, we're going to try and condense it into this video. Today I'm going to work on getting some of these old signs and number plates off so that we can get ready for sanding off the paint. Now not all the paint needs to come off, so you may think, oh, he's not doing that very well, but the idea is to make sure that the paint's all smooth, so it doesn't matter if the blue's there, because the colour that we're painting it, which is black, will just go over it and you won't be able to see the blue in the background. But obviously we need a smooth surface for the paint to go on. We'll probably have to do a couple of layers. So I'm going to have to sand all of the blue paint down so it's nice and smooth, and only then, after maybe a week or so, can we start applying the paint. But the agenda for today is take down a couple of the number plates and signs from the side and prepare it for paint. First thing on the agenda is to get a screwdriver and take off some of the things that are stopping me from sanding all of this paint off. Now these plates have been here for pretty much as long as the shed has been here, so it'll be interesting to see if the paint's protected behind it. Just put the screw in my pocket for now. Luckily these aren't seized at all, because it'd be a bit of a pain if they were. Yeah, the paint's actually quite good. I found that the paint on the front is a lot worse, and I think that's because we usually get the wind here, and that might also be why some of this wood here has rotted away, but actually it's quite good here. And all I really need to do for that is, not all of it needs to come off, I'll just get my sanding block and I'll just go straight over that, and that'll be quite easy to make flats. So now I'm just going to crack on getting some of these other plates off. Next up, I'm going to take off the plates on the front. Now these are all screwed on, apart from this one which has nails, so I have to maybe get my screwdriver under there and prise it off, maybe with some pliers or something, I don't know yet. But I'll do that one last. I'll just get off all these other ones before. You can see how these plates have been here for so long. I've just taken off the 2 screws, but the cobwebs that are behind are still holding it on. They haven't been taken off, and ugh, it's a bit manky. That I think I'll have to sort. I'll have to sort that out. There's a bit of a tan line there where the paint's worn away and where the number plate's been for so long. But anyway, all these need to come off so I can sand the wood underneath. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to put the same plates in the same place again, or maybe have something else here. I really don't know yet. We'll have to see once it's painted and see how it works. Once again, you have to peel it off because the cobwebs. Ooh. You see a little fella there? Yeah, they are a bit cobwebby. That's all the plates off here now. It really was quite manky behind, so obviously I've rubbed all that off and on the other side, but the next job now is to get these plates off. Now these plates are nailed on now. All these were screwed on apart from this one, which was nailed on, and those nails have been there a long time, so it took a fair bit of prizing out, and you're going to need a pretty beefy screwdriver, which is why I'm using quite a new one. But for these have been here even longer, so there's going to be even more cobwebs behind them, and the nails are really rusty. I did spray some WD-40 over them yesterday, but they're going to be a bit annoying. That is all of the number plates and signs off both the front and sides, and we've taken off most of the cobwebs. I'm sure you can tell we're not going for a pristine finish, so now it is the sanding block's time to shine. So as I've just said earlier in the video, it still will be blue, there still will be paint on it, but the thing is, the paint has become quite flaky, which means that if we just paint black paint over that, it will come up with like a really weird texture. So there's still going to be blue, but obviously black's a darker colour, so a couple of coats of black will cover it up so you can't see the blue underneath. But the main idea is just to make sure that it's got a flat side to it, so make sure the black paint just applies smoothly all over, really. Quick update, about 2 and a bit hours later I've finished sanding all of the front face of the shed, and all of this wood is lovely and smooth. Obviously there's still blue paint, but as I said, the main thing is that it's all smooth. All the stringy bits around here, I've got rid of all those. There's not much paint left there now, which is ideal really, and it's pretty much prepared the front to be painted black. So now all I have to do is the 3 other sides. Now another thing else I've been doing is sorting out these plates. Now, as I'm sure you saw when I was taking them off, there was a lot of cobwebs, and now I've taken off the cobwebs off the actual shed itself. It was time to take off the cobwebs off the back of these, because these were all absolutely covered, but now they're all nice and shiny on the back and on the front, so I just sprayed a bit of water over them, wiped them down, let them dry and wipe them down again, and now they're actually quite presentable. Here we are on the inside. Now I did say earlier that there's been quite a bit of rearranging going on in there, and that is very, very true. Oh, I just banged my head. Move the ammo cases. I've dug out these old nice Michelin signs because those were just down the side somewhere not being seen. The other one is just here as well. I don't know where to put that one. It's quite faded, but that one's in quite good condition. I think it looks good there. As I said, I dug out everything here. There were so many spiders and cobwebs. It was pretty funny in a way, but it was quite annoying. And all down there, there would have been cobwebs all down there, but now it's quite a bit better. One of the main things that I've done is actually, there would have been a big door here, but I've traded that to Dad. It's one of the doors for the old Bedford Utes. That's the door just slamming. I need to, really should put a little weight out. I'll do that now actually. Been using this weight for years now. What was I saying? Cobwebs? Yeah, I got rid of all the cobwebs. But the door here, I gave that to Dad in return for this lovely steering wheel. Now this is a very nice thing. It's just a miscellaneous sporty old steering wheel, but it was quite sort of pale wood and very quite, I don't know how to say it, but it was quite sort of pitted and stained like the actual chrome bit, but I spent a while polishing that up, and just WD-40 on the rim makes it look that much lovelier wood.
So that was quite a good trade for both of us, because he's got a nice door with a bit of sign writing and I've wanted a nice sporty steering wheel for a while. I've also put a couple of plates up here which look quite nice, I think. There's not really much else to say. Still got the trick track. I'm not sure what the future of that is at the moment, but it can stay there. I've also got the MG grille facing outwards now, which looks pretty nice, I think. The Austin 7 wheels here. And yeah, it's just general renovations, really, just making it that little better. As I said, I'd like it to look like a little garage or sort of like car parts depot type thing, so I'd probably say Harley's garage there, if all goes to plan, and maybe like a couple of signs there. I mean, it's not confirmed at all, we will have to see. Alright, so what we've done now is we've completely done the front, and I've also done that side just round there. But one of the worst bits has actually been the back. I haven't been able to look at it that well, but it's really quite flaky. So we've enlisted Mum to help us out with it. And we're just going to do exactly the same thing, just sanding it down to give it a smooth finish so that the black will look quite good when we eventually paint it.
Harley's very busily beavering away with the paintbrush here. Indeed, you've done a fine job. I'll soon be looking shipshape and Bristol fashion, as they say.
Is that a modern term?
No.
So here we are, about to start day 2 of the shed renovation, and as you can see, the first coat has come out pretty nicely. Now, I know I didn't film a lot of that, and I'm sorry for that, but the thing is, it was starting to get dark and we were just trying to get it done, really, so I didn't really film much of that. I might film a bit more of the second layer of painting, so it'll be only 2 layers really, but I think it actually looks quite striking. As it is, obviously we'll have a few signs, number plates, and a bit more going on the outside, which will mean it'll probably make quite a nice contrast at the end of it. We've also done the 2 sides, 1 layer, but just to save a bit of paint, we haven't done the back. As you can see, that looks a bit peculiar, doesn't it? The thing is, we were just making sure to spend all our time on the front, and we're not quite sure if we'll have enough paint to do all 4 sides with 2 layers, so we thought we'll prioritise the front and 2 sides at the moment, so that's exactly what we're doing. And anyway, it is black paint, so it's probably not that hard to replicate. But yeah, now we just need to crack on with the second layer. That is the second layer on, and it's just drying off now. Most of it's dry already, actually. And I think if I just step back and have a proper look, that looks quite good. And maybe with a little couple of signs and the number plates back up, it might look like a little garage, which is what I would like it to do. But I think that's a pretty good finish me, Mum and Dad have been able to produce. So now all I need to worry about really is just putting all the signs back up. But I might rearrange a few things, we'll have to see. So a few days later, the shed is back open, and there's been a fair bit going on. Now, earlier today we went to the Hopley House Farm Shop meet, which I will be making a video of. At time of recording today, we have just been to that wonderful little breakfast meet, and Grandad has given me a couple of very nice signs, including this BMW Isetta one, and I think that looks very good there. I've only just put it up about half an hour ago. But what I like about these is they're all symmetrical down there, which looks quite nice, I think. Then you got the Red X1 down there, or the cutting of the Red X1. And if we turn around here, there's another one, this Morris Minor one. Bit awkward to put on the roof, I'll have to crouch down for you to see it. But there it is, I think it looks quite good. But I did mention that I wanted to put some signs on the outside. Now I've got 3 signs, and I've just put one of them up. It's quite a small one. I think it looks very nice. Nice little Shell Motor Spirit. This is obviously repro, but it has got the look. And then I'm planning to have 2 more signs, maybe 1 there and 1 there, which are these 2. Now these are both repro again. We got a Wakefield Castrol one and the Champion one. Now there are lots of different designs. These were both bought off eBay, including the Shell Motor Spirit one. But I think they've got the look. So what we've just done is we've drilled holes in them so that they can be mounted, because these came with some double-sided sticky tape, but that's not really going to cut it, so we decided to drill it so that it can be put on the outside of the shed. So how is it looking? Well, I think it's looking pretty good. I've put these number plates back up here. Now, one thing I didn't like before is that the number plates had like uneven spacing. There'd be one here, and then two together here, and then there'd be one lower down. So now I've drilled some new holes, screwed in some new holes, and I think it looks quite a bit better having them all together like that. And as I'm going to have the signs on the front, the question of these American plates still remain. I don't know where I'm going to put these. This one's a bit different, so this one may end up going there with those, but all the other plates, they should really be together, because these are from the 90s and 20s, so they're not that old, so I probably won't put them with my really nice old ones. The sort of thing that really should be outside. But let's just see what it looks like after we've put those two the Champion and Castrol signs up, and then I'll have to have a little think about where to put that. Well, here we are, the grand reveal. I've just put those two up and I think they look pretty good there. I know they're new and I know they're not massive, but I just think it's a nice little touch to my shed. And I do like the Shell motor spirit sold here, but the good thing is these are only about £8 each, all of them. So that was like about £20 worth of signs, which isn't actually that bad. You could have a lot of those in a one that look very, very nice, because they have got the look. Right, so that is all of the American number plates up there. Now, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to put those on there, but I think that actually looks quite good with the Shell sign and the Castrol ones and the Champion. Now, I've put the NHRA one just below Grandad's sign. I think that fits in quite nicely there. It's just a nice little space, and as that one's a bit different to the other ones, I thought I might as well put it somewhere else different. But all these are quite similar. See, I've got the two friendly Manitoba ones there and the two Columbia ones there. And now what I might do for a bit of fun is put this max speed 10 skid risk sign up on the side. Now, I've got one of those on the inside of my door. We just pick them on the road if they're left there for months. So I think it might be quite fun to have that on the side. So that is the next thing to do. Well, folks, it's another day in the shed, and there have been a couple of little changes afoot. So I'm sure you've seen these three number plates. These appeared in a video a few weeks ago with a thumbnail that said, "What have I bought now?" So hopefully you've seen that video. If you haven't, have a look at it after this one. So those are the lovely number plates that I bought from an antique centre. But there was this one here that was just on top of the little Dolomite cam cover. So I've decided to take away a little standard book that was blocking that, and I've just put that Ontario number plate there. I think that looks quite good. It's nice to have them all together finally. And as I said in the previous video, I've arranged it so that the number plates can be easily lifted off, because I haven't put the screws all the way in. It's a bit fiddly, that one. There you go. But yeah, all those can lift off and be swapped around, which is quite interesting. But now there are even more number plate changes afoot, because we have got the WOV122 reg joining the Emporium. Now, yesterday we took a trip to Bridgenorth, and in an old mill that had been converted into an antique centre, I saw this lovely old number plate. Now, this is from 1958. It's a Birmingham registration, but it is really nice being cast iron, so it looks good with the other number plates. That's a proper old one that's got some really nice wear. That's a sort of new old stockish one, but it has got some age, and that one's probably the oldest of the lot. I've also got lovely old Hills one there. I don't know where I'll put that. I'll just put that there for now. And I think those three look pretty good together. But I understand this video has just been about the shed so far, so let's take a little break from all the shed renovations. Well, I'm sure we all know by now that this wonderful shed wouldn't be anything without all of the lovely stuff inside. I've been collecting things automotive related and all sorts of what most people would think junk, but to us it is absolute gold. I've been collecting this junk for about 5 years, well, something like that. A long time, basically as long as this shed's been here. Going to car boots, places like that, it's really easy to buy things like that. And I must say, Dad, his collecting habit has also rubbed off
a bit on me, as you can see, with this wonderful shed, but I'm always getting new stuff, and today marks another day where I've got something new in the form of this Mark III Jaguar XJ grill. Now, this actually is Dad's, and it came from a little bit of a trade. So at the moment Dad is treating some wood in the garage because he is having a problem with some woodworm, and he just wanted to get it sorted. So he took down this wonderful old Jag grill. This is a Series 3, so it could be a 6-cylinder. It's the last of the Series 3 XJs, but it also could be a V12. We don't know, but I think we can assume it's a V12 one. But anyway, on this window here, I used to have a big Mark II Austin A40 grill, and I think he probably gave that to me quite a few years ago, so bit of a dodgy trade, but I've taken ownership of it now. So I traded that in because it was just a bit big for me, and it just was a cobweb gatherer. So I thought I'd trade it for this lovely old Series 3 XJ grill while he had it out, but it might not be looking very lovely now because I don't know if you can see, but it's very cobwebby and it needs a little bit of polishing. So let's get set about starting cleaning this old thing up. Well, some of the more avid viewers of this little channel called CarTraction of mine will recognise this table and spot from an old video called Spanner Time, where I cleaned up some old Jaguar spanners, and we're back here again for some more Jaguar content. So first of all, I have used a pair of Dad's snips to snip off the old bit of tyre wrap, because that's not really very helpful for where I want to hang it in my shed. And first of all, I'm just going to get my scruffy rag, not the polishing rag, make sure not to mix them up, and just get off all these annoying little cobwebs. Now, believe it or not, there is a bit of family history involved in this old grill. Now, you might have heard, if you've been watching the videos for a while, that Grandad has a bit of a thing for old XJs, and he used to have a V12 Series 3 XJ, and that is what this grill was off, so it's nice to have it back. I've also got another grill of his off, I think it was like the MG version of like the Austin or Morris 1300. I've got it up in my shed window, and I plan to have this one above, so when I get all these cobwebs off it'll look very nice. But yeah, it'll look, the two sort of Grandad's grills off the old cars that he's had in his time will be reunited together, which will be nice. So, at long last, we have got all the cobwebs off, and now we can prepare for the polishing. Now here I am using T-cut metal polish. Any metal polish will do, but it's just what I found in Dad's garage, to be honest. You're going to want to use a clean rag, obviously, and just put a tiny little bit on it. Make sure you've got a thin bit of rag where you're doing it, and then you just, where should I start? I'll start there. You just rub on very hard, because it also does clear off any grime that's on it. And then another piece of rag, it's basically like polishing anything else. Once again, another thin bit of rag so you can really get in with your finger like that, and just rub that hard again. And just from that little bit there, I know you won't be able to see it, but it's come up very nice, so this could have a very shiny future in prospect indeed. Just takes a bit of perseverance. It does take a... oh, sun's come out. It can take a bit of a while polishing, but it will look very nice when it is done. Well, here's the end result, and I must say I'm pretty pleased. Couple of hours work and it is looking better than ever. So now all I've got to worry about is where to put it in my shed. As we approach the shed, we can see the wonderful Series 3 XJ grill in all its glory. How good does that look next to that MG one? Almost outshines that one, really, doesn't it? I know that this window is a bit grubby, so if we have a look on the inside, we'll be able to see just how shiny it really is. And I think those work pretty well.
next to each other, so those are both off Grandad's old cars. So yeah, that's a good day's work, but with a good day's work becomes packing away. And we have been preparing today the Dodge to go to a little car meet tomorrow, so now I'm going to have to back that into the garage because we really need to get it very close up, and the best way to do it is for me to back it up and Dad watch me in. Right, there we go, we got it going. If you could close the door, sir.
I'll put it in the back.
Oh no, nearly let myself down there.
Almost there. Come on. I'll do. Good
We
job.
need a bigger garage. Alright, so that's the Dodge tucked away for the night. As you can see, it requires a little bit of precision, but slow and steady wins the race. So now that's away. Next thing is to put the standard back in its little nest. The standard always needs a little bit of encouragement to start, in the form of a little bit of petrol straight into the top of the carb, so that's running now. But actually, it probably deserves a little run down the road because it hasn't been out for a while. But that means first we need to get the MX-5 out of the way. But I think with the standard going away, that's the end of this little video about all the exciting going-ons at CarTraction and OCHQ. The main being the shed repaint being black. I know we said we'd replace the wood and we'd make a sign there, but we haven't just got around to it, and I apologise for that. But I think it looks pretty good with the new signs there. So if you like this and like to see more of the shed and cars around here, please do remember to subscribe, comment below what you thought of the video, and that's all. Thanks for watching.